This video will describe what an AgResult location is, how to create one, and how to edit one. Very simple, but a location basically is a place in the system for you to organize your lots of animals. So in the example, if you have multiple locations, let's say one in one town, one across the way in another town, you wanted to organize those lots and those groups separately, you would have two locations. It's also important to understand that location only really needs to be described as separate locations if you have commodities stored separately in those locations. If your locations are so close that you share commodity bins and silos and you have it, and as far as the system goes, it's necessary you do not actually create two locations in that example. So locations are really only necessary if you have commodities split and you really want to organize your lots differently. So in order to create a location, you'd simply go to the Locations tab on the left screen, on the left menu, and you click Create, and you give it a name. We're going to call this Location 3. And we're going to, actually, let's call the description 3, and let's call this Third Farm. And then if we look at the top right here, we can click this button here, which will let us switch contexts in the app, and we will be able to change locations to our third farm, and we could continue, and now we are going to be using the system as if you are in that third farm. If we go to pens, we don't have pens here yet because we just created this location. So the next step would be to create pens. Once you have pens, you would need to create commodities for this location, and then you'd be able to feed effectively once you have a lot received as well. So that's what a location is, and if you are in a larger operation and you need to switch back and forth, it's no problem. You can just jump back and forth, and you're going to then, now we're back to location 2, and you're going to have the pens. You're going to basically have completely switched context in the app, and now you're going to be looking at everything from this location's perspective. You can always see your current location that you're using, and it's really no trouble to switch back and forth. But oftentimes, one location, will have dedicated tablets or phones or people that work in one location and don't necessarily have to switch a lot. That's a nice thing to know, because really changing locations probably only happens for managers and people maybe sitting in the office that want to switch and compare data between the locations. So yeah, that is what a location is in AgResult.